Okay, hi. Hi. Good morning, all. Is the audio clear? Please check. We will be having practice session of motion lesson today from physics section. So I hope you are ready for it. We are going to revise today motion lesson. In the initial time itself, in the last lecture, we have gone through the basic things, that is like the revision of those three equations of motion and some rest of the things. But today what we are going to do is we are going to practice some questions for our exam. So today we are going to revise motion with the help of questions itself from Exemplar. Okay, from Exemplar. So let us discuss all those things and let us utilize all the time we have at our hand, at our disposal, and try to complete as many questions as possible. Fine. So let us go with this. Write in the comment section. Write in the comment section if the audio is clear, so that we can begin. Please check if the voice is clear and everything is fine, so that we can move on. Okay. Voice is clear. Is it fine? Okay, take it. So audio is clear. Let us move to the question. Let us move to the question. So we are going to practice today from motion lesson. The first question, these questions are from Exemplar. Okay. So if you have studied your topic properly, you should be going for these kinds of questions also, because I have already completed your exercise and all those questions. So you can definitely go for these higher level order questions, right? Okay, so let us practice. The first question is, a particle is moving in a circular path of radius r, right? So we have basically a circle, and the particle is moving in the circular direction. The displacement of the half the circle is what? So they are asking what would be the displacement after half a circle is complete. So you have to assume some starting point. So let us just say this is a starting point. An ending point, that has to be also assumed. So but that ending point is given in the question. They have said ending point is at the half of the circle. So half of the circle means what? Another half. That means this point. Okay, so this is half of the circle. This is half of the circle we're talking about. Now can you tell me the displacement in this case? How displacement is calculated? Now there are two ways through which we can find out this one. If you go with the circumference, that is distance. This is distance. But if you go with the diameter, that is going to be displacement. A straight line. So answer in this case would be the displacement after half a circle would be how much? That is going to be diameter. And what is diameter? Diameter can be represented as, diameter is nothing but 2 times of radius. So answer is going to be 2r. Very simple. Why? Because diameter is 2 times the radius. That is the first point. Okay. Next question. Second question, this one. A body is thrown vertically upward with velocity u. The greatest height h to which it rises will be. They are asking, a body has been thrown upward. Okay? Some person has thrown a body upwards, and they are saying with upward velocity u. Okay. And the greatest height h to which it will rise is. They are asking about what is the height. What would be the displacement. Now there are two ways through which you can calculate this one. Either you can calculate with the help of s is equals to ut plus half at square, or you can use v square minus u square is equal to 2s. Which one we should go for? Have we in the question, have they given us time? They have not given us the time, right? So we cannot use this formula. Because they have not given us the time in the question. So but other values they have given. Acceleration in this case is g. And it should be positive. Or negative. What should be the value of g? Positive or negative? It is moving against gravity. It is moving against gravity. So we should be having what kind of value? Negative value of g. Negative value of g. Value of g should be negative. Okay, so put it. Initial velocity is u, something initial velocity we have, and the final velocity is 0. Final velocity is 0 in this case when the ball is thrown upwards. Okay, so put the values there. That is 0 minus u square is equals to 2 into a value is minus g. A value is minus g. And what about s? S is nothing but the displacement, that is height. That is height. Calculate the answer. Calculate the answer. The answer would be minus u square is equals to minus 2gh. Minus 2gh. Minus and minus will get cancelled. It will become plus. So it will become u square is equals to 2gh, right? 2gh, and h would be equals to u square by 2g. U square by 2g. That's it. So your answer would be B in this case. B in this case. Are you understanding this? Are you understanding how we are calculated? We have just used a formula which is a very basic one, and that we have used for calculating the answer. Option B. Option B would be the answer. Okay. Now let us move to the third question. Let us move to third. The numerical ratio of displacement to distance for a moving object is. They are asking what is the ratio of displacement by distance. Displacement by distance. Okay. So sometimes the displacement and distance are equal. Sometimes they are equal. So the value would be 1. Sometimes they are equal. So the value would be 1. But you also know that displacement will always be less than distance. Displacement will always be less than distance. So the answer would be less than 1. The answer would be less than 1 also sometimes. So sometimes the answer is equal to 1 when the value is same. And if the displacement is less than distance, then the answer is less than 1. So sometimes it would be 1, sometimes it would be less than 1. Very simple. So less than equal to 1 you can say. So answer would be D in this case. Are you understanding why it is so? Because sometimes displacement and distance are equal, so the answer would be 1, and sometimes displacement is less than distance, so answer would be less than 1. So answer is D. Answer is D. Very simple, very simple. Now let us go for the next one. Let us go for the next one. Fourth question. If the displacement of the object is proportional to square of time, they are saying if assume for a second that displacement is proportional to square of time. They are saying just assume for a second. Then the object moves with. Object, how will it move? They are just asking what would be the logic for the movement of the object. Can you please tell me, when do we square the time? When do we square the time? Which physical quantity do we have in this lesson which involves squaring of the time? We have lots of units, right? In the exam we have meter, we have meter per second, we have meter per second square. Acha. So this is the quantity which involves squaring of the time. Meter per second square, time square, and this is which quantity? This is acceleration. This is acceleration. So answer should be acceleration, right? So we are cancelling the first option. The first option we are cancelling because it has velocity. So we cannot use that. We need acceleration. Now question is whether it is increasing or decreasing. Whether it is increasing or decreasing. They are just saying that they are directly proportional. Directly proportional. So that means we can replace that time with what? Acceleration. Okay, so we can replace that time with acceleration. Okay, so that means when the time is increasing, the displacement is increasing, the time is increasing. So that means it is a uniform acceleration. Uniform. They have not said whether, suppose let us say it is increasing or decreasing. We have no idea about it. But we are very sure that whenever the time is increasing, the acceleration, the displacement, they are going with the same way. They are increasing in the same manner. So we can say it is uniform acceleration and not increasing or decreasing. Those cannot be the cases because we have not been given such values. So answer is going to be B. Answer is going to be B. Uniform acceleration. Now, let us move to the next one. Question number 5th. Now, in this question, they have said it can be inferred that the object is in uniform motion at rest, in non-uniform motion moving with uniform acceleration. This particular graph is of V and T. This particular graph is of V and T. Okay, so if you find out a slope of this, if you find out a slope, suppose let's say if you take two values, from this, trying to understand what is the value of acceleration, the value would be slope exactly. So that means delta y by delta x, that would be y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. But you know the value for both the cases y2 and y1 is same. In this particular situation, the value of y1 and y2, they are same. So the answer would be 0 by x2 minus x1. So acceleration in this case is 0. Acceleration in this case is 0. Are you understanding? Okay, so in this case, but the velocity is there. Velocity is not 0, but acceleration is 0. Now what type of body is there in which acceleration is 0 but velocity is not 0? Means the body has velocity but it doesn't have acceleration. That means it is moving with some uniform speed. So at rest, definitely not at rest because it has velocity. Definitely not at rest because it has some velocity. Non-uniform motion, it cannot be the possibility. Acceleration is already 0. So this cannot be the case. The only option remaining is uniform motion. That's it. So your answer is going to be uniform motion in this case. Very simple. So answer is A. Now, let us talk about the next question. Question number 6. In question number 6, they are saying, suppose a boy is enjoying a ride on the merry-go-round which is moving with a constant speed of 10 meter per second. So there is a merry-go-round which is moving, suppose let's say at 10 meter per second. It implies that the boy is, they are just asking what is the state of boy. Whether he is moving at rest, the boy is at rest, or moving with no acceleration, in accelerated motion, moving with uniform velocity. Now don't you think moving in merry-go-round is nothing but moving something like this? Moving in merry-go-round is nothing but moving like this. What kind of motion is this? You can write it in the comment section. What type of motion is this? This is circular motion, right? In circular motion, you definitely have acceleration, right? Agreed? In circular motion, you have acceleration. So answer would be at rest, definitely not at rest. Moving with no acceleration, that is also wrong. Moving with uniform velocity. There is no uniform velocity because direction is changing. Uniform velocity we cannot have because the velocity is changing due to direction. So this is also wrong. So the answer is in accelerated motion because circular motion has acceleration. Circular motion is accelerated motion. So answer is C. Very simple. Now let us move to the next one. Question number 7. Area under VT graph represents a physical quantity which has the unit. They are asking if we take area of VT graph, what quantity will we get? See, if we take slope, it would be V by T. If we take area of this graph, if we take slope of this graph, it would be V by T. And if we take area, it would be V into T. So V by T is acceleration and V into T is displacement. Okay, and this is acceleration. And what has been asked in the question? Area. So area is nothing but displacement of this graph, and displacement is used, what is the unit we use for displacement? Meter. We use meter. So answer is meter. I hope you are understanding how to take it. Velocity time graph. Everything has been taught to you very properly, so I don't think there is any confusion between slope and area. Write it in the comment box very fast. So answer is going to be meters, right? Okay. Now let us move to the next question. Question number 8. In question number 8, they have said there are 4 cars A, B, C and D are moving on a level road. Their distance versus time graph is shown. Their graph is shown between distance and time. They are asking which car is fastest and which car is slowest. Suppose let's say we just have to compare. Now can you tell me which is the, suppose let's say, fastest car? Can we say, I have already told you the trick. If there is a graph, whichever is near to the y-axis, it will carry highest value. So velocity of C is more than D, than A, than B. Okay, so the values are something like this. Velocity of C is more than D, than A, than B. Why? What is the reason? Because that C has more slope. That C has more slope. That is the reason. It has more slope and it has less slope. It has less slope. So just compare the statement so that you can understand. Car A is faster than D. Car A is faster than D. This is a wrong statement. Car B is slowest. Yes, car B is slowest. Car D is faster than C. No, it is wrong. Car C is slowest. Car C is slowest. Car C is fastest. Okay. So answer is B. Answer is B. So these values are getting cancelled. Very simple. Car B is the answer. Right? Car B is the slowest one. Now, can we move ahead? Can we move ahead? Okay. 4 cars. Acha, so this question has already been done. Now, let us move to question number 9. Question number 9. In this case, they have asked you uniform motion graph. They are asking you to find out which of the following figures represents uniform motion of a moving object correctly. Okay, so they are asking you to identify a graph of uniform motion. You already know graph of uniform motion will always be a straight line. Will always be a straight line. Will always be a straight line, right? Particularly if you are talking about distance and time. Okay, so this cannot be the one. This cannot be the one. The value is constant. The object is not moving at all. This cannot be the graph. So answer is this, a straight line. So option A. Option A. Very simple. We don't even need to discuss this option A because uniform motion in a straight line is nothing but can be represented with the help of a straight line. So we don't even need to talk about this, right? Okay. Now, can we move ahead? Can we move ahead? It's a very simple one. Okay. Now let us go for question number 10. Question number 10. In question number 10, they are saying slope of velocity time graph is. Slope of velocity time graph. Okay. Now, can somebody please tell me what is the, suppose let's say, relation between velocity and time if you are trying to take slope of this? If you are trying to take slope of this, so we have to take velocity by time. Velocity by time. What would be the quantity? What would be the quantity? Write it in the chat box very fast. It would be acceleration. It would be acceleration. Okay. So answer is C. Answer is C. Very simple. Answer would be C in this case. Right? Okay, meter per second square, meter per second square. Now, let us move to question number 11. Question number 11. In question number 11, they are saying, in which of the following cases of motions, the distance moved and the magnitude of displacement are equal? They are saying to identify a situation where distance is equals to displacement. Distance is equals to displacement. They are just asking you to identify in which of the cases the distance would be equals to displacement. Okay, so can you please find out? Can you please find out and tell me? If the car is moving on a straight road, yes, that is a possibility. If the car is moving in circular path, distance and displacement are not equal. They are not equal. The pendulum is moving to and fro. Obviously not. Obviously not. Distance and displacement cannot be equal in that case. The earth is revolving around the sun. No, because some or the other time the displacement would be 0. Why we are not saying these are the values? Because there would be a situation wherein displacement is becoming 0. There would be a situation in this case when the displacement is becoming 0. And on straight road it doesn't become 0. Those are equal. So answer is A. Right? Straight line. Straight line. So one thing we should understand is, on straight road, obviously the distance would be distance and displacement would be equal. Okay, so you should only remember only these things, that distance is equal to displacement in case of movement, या फिर suppose let's say motion on a straight road, motion in a straight line, motion in a straight line. Then the displacement and distance would be equal. That is the case. Now, let us move to the next one. 11 is done. We are supposed to complete short answer questions. Short answer questions. The question is, the displacement of a moving object in a given interval of time is 0. They are saying displacement is 0. Okay, so displacement is 0. Okay, next. Would the distance traveled by the object is also 0? Can it be possible that distance is also 0? They are asking whether it is possible if distance is 0. Obviously not. Obviously not. It is not possible, right? Give me in the chat box. Write it in the chat box. Is it possible that if displacement is 0, distance is also 0? Definitely not. Definitely not. It is not the case. And what would be the reason? Why would we say this? Justify. Because displacement gets 0. Displacement gets 0. Gets 0 if initial and final position is same. If initial and final position is same. If initial and final position is same. Is it understood? Is it understood that if initial and final position is same, then definitely suppose let's say you can say displacement is 0, but distance won't be 0 in that case. Distance won't be 0. Okay, so that's that. Now let us move to the next question. Question number 13. They are asking you, how will the equations of motion for an object moving with uniform velocity change? They are saying how the equations, the 3 equations of motion, how will they change if the body is moving with uniform velocity? The body is moving with uniform velocity. Okay, so they are asking you to find out how will the equations of motion change. What are the equations of motion? Those are v is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square, and v square minus u square is equal to 2s. Now what is the meaning of uniform velocity? Meaning of uniform velocity is that it has certain velocity but the acceleration is 0. Try to understand the meaning of uniform velocity first. See, uniform velocity, what is the meaning of this? It means, for example, suppose the initial velocity was 5 meter per second. After some time it is still same. So the acceleration is not going to change. Acceleration is 0 in this case because the velocity is not changing. So in short you can say uniform velocity means acceleration is 0. Acceleration is 0, that is the meaning of uniform velocity. So if acceleration is 0, how will these equations change? Can you please give me values for these? V is equal to u plus 0 into t. S is equals to ut plus half into 0 into t square. And v square minus u square is equal to 2 into 0 into s. Okay. Can you find out the answers for these? Can you find out the answer for this? This will become v is equal to u. The second equation will become s is equals to ut. And the third equation will become v square minus u square is equal to 0. V square minus u square is equal to 0. But you can still convert it, right? V square minus u square is equal to 0. You can still convert it. So that will become v square. Transfer that minus u square to the other side. It will become u square. So v is equal to u. Are you understanding how we are doing this? We use the thing which was given in the question, that was uniform velocity was given in the question. So we assume acceleration is 0, and then we just substituted the value for acceleration, a is equal to 0, and we found out our 3 equations. This is the first, this is the second, and this is the third one. I hope it was simple for you, not that much hard. Okay, now can we move to the next one? Question number 14. Let us go for this. Question number 14. In question number 14, they have said a girl walks along a straight path to drop a letter in the letter box and comes back to her initial position. They are saying the girl is walking towards a letter box and she is putting a letter, and again she is coming back to the initial position. Her displacement time graph is shown in the particular table, the particular graph. They are asking you to plot a velocity time graph for the same. They are asking you to find out velocity time graph for the same. Okay, so can we find out velocity time graph for this? Is it possible? Okay, from displacement time graph, how can we find out velocity? Can somebody tell me? For velocity and time, first what we need to do is we need to find out velocity at these points. Okay, so that is possible. That is not that much hard. Let us talk about it. Okay, So select your points, select your points. So this is your first point, the value is 0, 0. Your second point, this is 50, 100. This is 50, 100. The third one, this is 100, 0. This is 100, 0. Okay. So let us try to find out acceleration and all these things. Acceleration for the first case. Acceleration for the first case, this one. So that is 50, 100 and 0, 0. So you have x2, y2 and you have x1, y1. x1, y1 is 0, 0 for first case and second one is 50, 100. Now can you find out slope from this? Can you find out slope from this? Not acceleration, basically velocity. Definitely we can find out, right? V is nothing but slope is nothing but delta y by delta x, and delta y is nothing but y2 minus y1, and delta x is x2 minus x1. Put the values there, put the values. That is 100 minus 0, 100 minus 0 divided by 50 minus 0. Okay, so that is 100 divided by 50, that is how much? 2. That is 2. Agreed? It is 2. Okay, so 2 meter per second. So she continued with 2 meter per second from what to what? From, suppose let's say this position to this position, right? 2 meter per second for 50 seconds. For 50 seconds she went with how much of velocity? 2 meter per second. And what about the second case? What about the second case? Let us try to find out for second case. In second case, the value is 50, 100 and this value is 100, 0. Now let us try to find out from this case. x2, y2 is 100, 0 and x1, y1 this time is this value 50, 100. Okay, so our values have changed for the coordinates, but the method will remain same. Now can you find out slope from this? Slope, that is velocity basically, that is delta y by delta x again. So that value would be 100 minus 0 divided by this one, y2 minus y1. Sorry, I subtracted the wrong values. You can use this one, y2 minus y1. So that means 0 minus 100. 0 minus 100 divided by 100 minus 50. 100 minus 50. Okay, calculate. This would be minus 100 and 100 minus 50 is 50. Okay, so that is minus 2 meter per second. So velocity in this case is minus 2 meter per second. Agreed? I hope you are understanding this, right? Okay, so what we found out was for initial one the speed was plus 2 meter per second. So for the first journey it was plus 2 meter per second and for the other side it is minus 2 meter per second. Okay, are you understanding this? For first case that is plus 2 and for second case it is minus 2. Plus 2 minus 2. Now can we create our graph, which they are asking? Yes, we can. What we can do is you create a baseline first. Now give it a name. We are supposed to give it a name as velocity time graph. Okay. Now you put the values first. You put the value of 0 first. Now on y-axis you are going to put velocity, right? Now what is the maximum velocity you have? Maximum velocity you have is plus 2 and minimum velocity you have is minus 2, right? So this is V max, this is V minimum. Okay, so you do one thing. From on the y-axis you take two positions. 1, 2, right? Okay. At the bottom side also same thing. Minus 1, minus 2. 1 and 2, minus 1 and minus 2. Why? Because we have two values of velocity. We have positive value also and we have negative value also. Okay, take care. Now you can do one thing. You have to show your plus 2. So you can show from this. But where is the time? That plus 2 was, suppose let's say the velocity was plus 2 till what duration? What was the time till which you had that plus 2? Can you please tell me in the chat box? What was the value till, suppose let's say that value was 2 meter per second, till what time? 50 seconds. So you can do one thing. You can start marking up that 50 value. So this is 10, Okay, what is the maximum value you are going to have? 100. Maximum value is 100. Okay, ठीक है. So 20, 20, then 40, then 60, then 80, and then 100. Right? Okay. So you had velocity 2 for 50 seconds. Now where is 50? 50 is here. 50 is here. Okay, so do one thing. Draw a straight line. Draw a straight line. Your velocity is not changing from 0 to 50 seconds, right? From 0 to 50 seconds, your velocity is not changing. So I have shown the velocity as 2 meter per second. Okay, so show it. So this is my 50. This is my 50. But after 50, it is converting to minus 2. After 50, it is converting to minus 2. So I have taken minus 2. I have gone to the bottom side. Now for what time I am going to have that minus 2? Till 100 seconds. Till 100. Okay, so I will continue this journey till 100. This one. That's it. So this is plus 2 for 0 to 50 seconds, and from 50 to 100, that is minus 2. So this is plus 2, this is minus 2, this is 50. Okay, and this is 100. Are you understanding how to create this? First, find out the value of velocities, and then you can plot the graph. Very simple. So, are you understanding the values? How to find out? How to find out? Okay. Now, can we go for the next question? Can we go for the next question? Write it in the chat box so that we can move on. Okay. Tanmay Bhandari. Try to understand that values are changing from plus 2 to minus 2. So we need to show them in the graph, and the only proper way to show them is in this way. The only proper way. Plus 2 and minus 2. If you want to show the direction in the graph, so you can do it like this, because on x-axis you already know one thing, you know for a certain thing, that on x-axis and y-axis, this side is positive for y-axis, positive side, and this is negative side. So simultaneously both the values can be shown on the graph. That's why we have created such graph. We have created such graph in which both the positions can be shown, positive 2 also and negative 2 also. Okay. Now let us move to the next question, that is question number 15. Question number 15. In question number 15, let us see what exactly how we are supposed to solve this. A car starts from rest and moves along the x-axis. A car is starting from the rest and is moving along the x-axis with constant acceleration. The objective's acceleration is constant, that is 5 meter per second square. And for how much time? For 8 seconds. Okay. If it then continues with constant velocity, what distance will the car cover in 12 seconds since it started from the rest? So they are saying the object has started from rest. Okay, so the object was rest in initial position. After that, for 8 seconds, the object was traveling with 5 meter per second square acceleration. Okay, after this, it continued with a constant velocity. Okay, and after that, for 12 seconds, you just have to calculate the distance. Now that is simple. If you just want to calculate distance at 12 seconds, it can be done something like this. Formula for distance is what? Basically the formula from 3 equations of motion. We have 2 equations in which we can put the values, right? Yes. The first one is S is equal to ut plus half at square. And the second one is v square minus u square is equal to 2s. Both of the 2 values you can do, or either you can do one thing, you can find out the distance covered in the first case, and then you can find out the distance in the second case, and you can then add it up. You can just say total distance is 1 plus 2. There are 2 ways through which you can solve this question. Either you solve it with the help of equations of motion, or you can solve it just by simple method. Okay, so let us use some simple basic method for solving this question. Okay. Now for the first case, for the distance for 8 seconds. For distance 8 seconds, we need to calculate how much distance has been traveled. Okay, for 8 seconds. For 8 seconds. Okay, what is the formula? S is equals to ut plus half at square. So put the value. S is equals to ut plus half at square. I want to calculate distance traveled in 8 seconds. In 8 seconds, how much was the distance traveled? Okay, so S is equals to u, value of u is 0 because the object was at rest. Object was at rest, so value of u is 0. So 0 into t is 0. Okay, so this is 0, half. Acceleration value is 5. Acceleration value is 5. What about time? Time is 8 seconds. Okay, so this value would be, but square, 8 square. So that would be 5 into 8 8s are 64 and divided by 2. So that would be 2 1s are, 2 3s are, 2 2s are. 32 into 5. Can you please calculate 32 into 5? 32 into 5. 5 2s are 10, 1 carry, 5 3s are 15 plus 160. 160? Okay, so the answer is 160. So in initial position, in initial 1, the body has travelled for 8 seconds, it has travelled 160 meters. The body has travelled 160 meters. Okay, I hope you are understanding this. Okay, now can you calculate velocity? Now can you calculate the velocity, because after 8 seconds the body was travelling in a straight line. The object after 8 seconds was travelling in a constant velocity. With constant velocity it was travelling. So we need to find out what is that velocity. We need to find out that what was that velocity. Let us calculate. To calculate that velocity, the formula is very simple. V is equal to u plus at. Right? Now what is the formula for u? Value of u in the question, it is 0, right? It is 0 plus. Value of acceleration is given, that is 5. Value of time is also given, that is 8. So that is 40. So object was travelling with 40 meter per second later. In after this particular 8 seconds, the object was travelling with 40 meter per second. Correct? Okay. Now, in the question, can you see they have asked for 12 seconds. They have asked for 12 seconds. We have already calculated distance travelled in 8 seconds. So the object travelled for 12 seconds, right? And we have already calculated how much distance has been travelled in 8 seconds. For 8 seconds, we already have how much distance has been travelled, and that is how much? 160 meters. That is 160. Now, for how many seconds more is needed? We have already calculated for 8. Total is 12. Already calculated for 8. So remaining is very simple. Remaining is 12 minus 8, that is 4. Remaining is 4. Very simple. So for 4 seconds, you are supposed to calculate the distance. For 4 seconds. How can we calculate that? Last 4 seconds. Okay. So it is very simple. What is the formula for displacement? Velocity is equal to displacement by time. Right? So displacement is equals to velocity into time. So if you calculate, you just want distance, right? So distance is equal to speed into time. Okay. So that means in 4 seconds, if you want to calculate distance, how can you calculate it? Speed is equals to distance by time. So distance can be calculated with the help of speed into time. Okay, so that is the formula you are supposed to use. So use that formula. So in 4 seconds, the distance would be speed into time. And what is the speed? Speed is 40. Speed into time. The speed is 40, this 40, and time is 4 seconds. So that value would be 160. The value would be 160 meters. Okay. So initially we traveled for 160 meters, and after that also it traveled for 160 meters. So total is 160 plus 160, that is 320. Okay, total is 320. Very simple. Are you understanding this? How to do this? First, we calculated for 8 seconds. We applied first formula, that is S is equal to ut plus half at square. Through that formula we calculated. Let me revise it for you. what we have done. First we calculated s is equals to ut plus half at square. We received the value of s in this case. Okay, after that we found out what is the velocity with the help of v is equal to u plus at. By using this velocity, we put it in the formula of distance is equals to speed into time. Whatever was our answer for 4 seconds, this was for 4 seconds, this was for 8 seconds. Okay, so we added this box, that is distance, and this one. These two boxes we have added, this is S2, this is S1. Two boxes we have added to calculate the total distance. Very simple. Okay. Now let us move to the next question. Question number 16. In question number 16, what we have basically is a motorcyclist drives from A to B with uniform speed 30 and returns back with the speed of 20. Find the average speed. Now this is very simple, right? This is very simple. The object is at A and there is another position, that is B. While going from A to B, the speed used was 30 km per hour, and while returning back, the speed used was 20 km per hour. Okay, find the average speed. But the problem is, for average speed you require, average speed can be calculated by, average speed is equal to total distance by total time. Okay, so you do one thing, you assume the distance as x. Okay, so assume the distance as x. Okay, so let us see. Our object is traveling, suppose let's say from A to B, first at 30, coming back at suppose let's say 20 km per hour. The distance we are assuming is x. Now for 30 km per hour, and for 20 km per hour. Now can I say these are speeds? This is speed, right? This is speed. Now what is the distance for both the cases? That is x. Distance for this is also x. Agreed? Now can you find out time for me? Because speed is equal to distance by time. So time is equal to distance by speed. Okay, so find out time for this. Time would be distance by speed. Distance, that is x, and speed would be 30. For this also, the distance would be x and the speed would be 20. Right? X by 30 and x by 20, the time. Now use this. This is for first case, this is for second case. Okay, ठीक है. And what is the distance? That is x and x, right? Now we can put it. So we already have time for both the cases. For time 1 it was x by 30, and for time 2 that is x by 20. Okay, so put it in the formula. Average speed is equals to total distance. So that means for initial first case the distance traveled was x, and for the second case again the distance traveled was same, x plus x. And what about total time? Total time is t1 plus t2. So the upper value would be 2x and t1 plus t2. Put the values there for t1 and t2, that would be same, right? Okay. Now we can calculate. Average speed is equals to 2x by. What is the value of t1? T1 value is x by 30. Put it there. T1 value is x by 30 plus. T2 value is x by 20. Now calculate the answer. In this case, the upper value would be 2x. The lower value would be cross multiply. 30 into 20. 30 into 20 is how much? 30 into 20. Can you please calculate 30 into 20? That is 3 2s are 6 and 0 0. And 20x plus 30x. Cross multiply. So that would be 20x plus 30x. The value would be 50x. This 600 will go to the top side. Divided by 20 plus 30 is 50. Okay, so x and x will be cancelled. 0 and 0 will be cancelled. 5 ones are 110, 12s are. So 12 5s are 60, 12 2s are 24. So answer is going to be 24. And unit Unit would be kilometer per hour. Unit would be kilometer per hour. Okay. So I hope this particular point is clear regarding this, how to calculate. You just have to assume the distance. The distance, speed they have given in the question. Speed they have given in the question, that is 30 and 20. For both the cases, you have assumed the distance is x. You assume the distance is x kilometer. And then you found out time. You found out time because time is equal to distance by speed. Okay, so initially the time was x by 30 and the time for second case is x by 20. You use those values in average speed because average speed is nothing but total distance by total time. Total distance by total time. That is average speed. So we have that distance, that is x plus x, and total time is t1 plus t2. That's it. So answer is going to be 24 kilometer per hour. Answer is going to be 24 kilometer per hour. Okay. Now do one thing, students. Do one thing. For the rest of the revision and all the things, practice it. Practice all the questions which have been given in the exemplar. Do practice it. Even from textbook also. Please practice all the questions which are given in NCERT. And in the next session, whenever we'll meet, we will suppose, let's say, have some practice sessions. I will let you know on the group. Like on what time we are going to revise the next part, and please do join accordingly. So I will let you know on the group. Fine? Okay. And do subscribe to the channel so that whenever our classes will take place, you will get the updates. You will get the updates whenever we are taking the classes. So please do be connected with the group. Whatever the updates are, I will put it there for the next revision sessions. Chalo. Bye bye. Have a nice day. We will close our session for this particular moment. Thank you.